How can someone dream big and yet still struggle to get out of bed? Surveys show over 80% of people set ambitious goals every year, yet most quit within weeks. If you've ever called yourself ambitious and lazy, here's the truth. The two aren't opposites, and what's really happening will surprise you. In the next few minutes, you'll learn 3 hidden reasons ambitious people get stuck, the common mistake that makes it worse, and the simple shift that turns goals into momentum. By the end, you'll see why laziness isn't what you think it is, and why the cure might feel smaller than you'd ever expect. Picture this. You set a huge goal. Write a book, launch a business, finally get fit. You start excited, imagining the finish line. But when it's time to sit down and work, you find yourself refreshing your inbox, reorganizing your desk, or scrolling on your phone. Therefore, the day ends with frustration, guilt, and that painful thought. I'm ambitious, but maybe I'm just lazy. Sound familiar? You're not lazy. You're caught in a psychological trap. Reason 1. The motivation myth. Angela Duckworth, Why It Happens. Angela Duckworth's research shows success isn't about bursts of motivation, it's about consistent grit. Ambitious people often chase inspiration, waiting to feel ready, but the brain doesn't work like that. How to notice it? If you constantly plan big, talk about big, but struggle to start small, you're relying on feelings instead of systems. James Clear's 2-minute rule. Shrink your big goal into a 2-minute version. Want to run a marathon? Just put on shoes and step outside. The brain rewards the start, not the size. And the next reason hides even deeper, because it disguises itself as productivity. Daniel Kahneman showed that your brain burns energy with every choice. Ambitious people overload themselves with options, what strategy, what tools, what order, until the brain shuts down. If you spend more time deciding than doing, or if you feel exhausted before you even start, decision fatigue is at play. You think you're procrastinating because you lack willpower. The truth, your brain is protecting its fuel tank. Remove choices, pre-decide your environment. Same time, same place, same tool. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit daily to save mental energy. You don't need turtlenecks, but you do need fewer options. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman explains that dopamine drives effort toward rewards. But ambitious goals feel far away, while scrolling or snacking gives instant hits. The brain picks quick pleasure over distant payoff. You tell yourself, I'll work after one video, one snack, one scroll. Hours pass and the long-term goal feels even further away. You thought you lacked discipline. In reality, your brain just isn't wired to chase far-off rewards without help. Hack dopamine. Pair effort with small rewards. Work for 20 minutes, then give yourself a break. Huberman calls this reward prediction error. Trick the brain into finding joy in the process, not just the finish line. Here's the mistake ambitious people make. They use shame as fuel. They call themselves lazy, beat themselves up, and try to whip themselves into action. But research shows shame reduces energy. It activates the same brain circuits as physical pain. You don't need harsher self-talk, you need smarter systems. So how do you turn ambition into consistent action? Not with willpower, not with beating yourself up. The real cure is building systems that make action so small, so natural, that your brain can't say no. Here are 3 ways. Big goals feel exciting in your head, but terrifying to your brain. That's why you delay. It's not laziness, it's your brain protecting you from overwhelm. Think about writing a book. Write a book is huge. It feels impossible. But write one messy sentence feels harmless. Once you start, momentum builds. Psychologist James Clear calls this the 2-minute rule. Make the habit so small it takes less than 2 minutes. Want to get fit? Just put on your shoes and walk outside. Want to study? Open the book and read the first line. Small starts trick the brain into action, and once you start, you usually keep going. Here's the trap. If you leave your goals floating in the day, you'll burn energy deciding when to act. And by the time you choose, your willpower is gone. Behavior scientist B.J. Fogg explains that habits stick when they're anchored to routines you already do. For example, after I make coffee, I'll write 1 page. Or, after I brush my teeth, I'll stretch for 1 minute. Notice how specific that feels. It's not vague like, I'll exercise today. It's tied to something automatic. And when you repeat it daily, it stops being a decision. It becomes part of your identity. Here's the biggest secret from neuroscience. Your brain doesn't care about shoulds. It only cares about rewards. That's why Netflix beats your big goals every time. It feels good instantly. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman says dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about tracking progress. If the reward feels too far away, motivation collapses. So you hack it. Pair effort with something enjoyable. Work for 20 minutes, then reward yourself with music, a coffee, or a short scroll. Track streaks with check marks. Celebrate tiny wins. When the process itself feels rewarding, your brain starts craving the work instead of avoiding it. If you've called yourself ambitious but lazy, hear this. You are not broken. You're ambitious because you dream big. You feel lazy because your brain wasn't designed for endless willpower. The cure isn't to punish yourself harder. It's to work with your brain, not against it. And once you do, ambition turns into momentum. If this helped you see laziness differently, subscribe and join our community. Here, psychology isn't just theory. It's tools you can use to work smarter, live better, and finally see your goals come alive.